Treaty 8 was entered into by our forefathers as a sovereign people of Treaty 8. There was no AFN back then. It's Treaty 8 people for a territory where these promises and the benefits from that territory was going to come with the treaty makers as well. With the Imperial Crown, we know our forefathers, what they knew what they entered into.
Treaty 8 First Nations of Alberta Grand Chief Arthur Noskey says he has cut ties with the AFN. He says the 23 nations in Alberta who signed Treaty 8 in 1899 want to negotiate on a nation-to-nation basis instead of with the Assembly of First Nations.
The treaties have been neglected to a point where it's only administrative stuff, and that these monies or program dollars are basically, I believe, negotiated by AFN in Canada. By the time it gets to the nations, then it's not a treaty-based funding as promised under treaty. Examples, I guess, would be education and healthcare.
Chief Noskey says, as sovereign nations, they have a better ability to properly distribute federal and provincial funds. APTN asked Indigenous Services to comment on Treaty 8 leaving the AFN, but they did not reply to us before airtime.
When AFN basically negotiates with them or talks about numbers, then a lump sum is sent to Alberta, and now the nations are asked to, make the best decision as to how that money is split. And to us, that is not a treaty-based process, and that is the reason why, we pulled out. Basically, we tried working with them. I guess I'll say that as well, but to date, it has not come to a place where the autonomy of the sovereign nations that entered into treaty is not being respected and honored.
Chief Noskey says the AFN has asked for a band council resolution from the Treaty 8 communities. He says many have been sent in, but as far as he is concerned, the organization is no longer a part of the AFN. Alberta currently does not have an AFN regional chief. Marlene Poitras was removed in December. Her mandate had expired at the end of June 2021. The Assembly of First Nations declined an interview about the story. In a statement to APTN, they write in full, "In the absence of an Assembly of First Nations Alberta Regional Chief, Alberta Region, including Treaty 8, is currently represented through the many Chiefs Committees and Technical Committees that inform the work of the National Office to advance First Nation priorities as mandated by Chiefs in Assembly." Grand Chief Noskey says he meets with Treaty 8 leaders from Saskatchewan, Northwest Territories, and British Columbia on a monthly basis. Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Edmonton.